Tennessee's baseball team is just darn exciting. Keep hitting home runs at a frantic pace. And then the Lady Vols pick up a key commitment in the early days under their new coaching regime. So, Caleb, I ask you this question, and it is on our YouTube page. We'll get into it. 4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. Certainly check out their location there in Athens. But what's the most exciting Tennessee team? Is it football, baseball, basketball, or will be women's basketball? That's brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. So, Cooper Mays, tell us how we take part in 4 Downs.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thanks, Coop. Here we go. First down.
Coop here. First down.
So football with 64% of the vote, baseball with 27% of the vote, basketball with 9% of the vote will be women's basketball. Has not gotten a vote yet over several dozen who have voted already. Now, football with 64% doesn't surprise me, but the answer is men's basketball because you only know half the roster in the offseason, and they're going to start dribbling the ball for real here in about 5 months. So the most exciting Vols team is men's basketball because it's completely flipping almost 60% in a year. So I don't even think it's close. It's basketball. It's men's basketball.
Dave, it's not close, but it's the reverse. Men's basketball is the least exciting. Now they're going to win. I don't blame Rick Barnes' style, but every other team on Tennessee, like basically is just all about offense and flash and like putting fans in the seats. And basketball is more traditional, Rick Barnes' traditional try to win. But Kim Caldwell is going to have the most frenetic pace that's ever been run in women's basketball at this level next year, just as women's basketball is rising. We know about Josh Heupel. By the way, I didn't talk to you about this because you weren't here on Monday, but how much more exciting is Josh Heupel's offense going to be, not just with Nico Iamaleava, but now that helmet communications are allowed in football?
He says that's not going to make much of a difference, which makes me think that it's going to make a big difference.
It's going to make a huge difference. It's going to make a gigantic difference. We got Tennessee baseball. I mean, they're hitting home runs galore. Okay. By the way, their pitching ain't bad, but they're a home run team. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You guys are actually wrong. The most exciting brand. Now, as a sport, football in general is the most exciting sport, but relative to its league, women's basketball is going to be the most exciting of all the sports next year. Kim Caldwell is literally injecting the same level of energy into SEC women's basketball that Bruce Pearl did in 2005 on the men's side. We're talking about, no, she's not going to take her shirt off and paint her chest, guys. I'm sorry. But we're talking about a level of excitement with her style of play that has never been seen at this level for women's basketball. And I'm talking about even Iowa and UConn, which have been more guard oriented traditionally. Gene Auriemma has been more guard oriented. He's never run this. Kim Caldwell is bringing 40 minutes of hell to women's basketball. So it's going to be the most exciting style of women's basketball to ever see at this level. So it's women's basketball.
All right, so that was a first down. It is time for second down, brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
Okay, so for me, I think I know yours, but who is second on your list? For me, it is the Tennessee football team because of one guy, and it's Nico Iamaleava. He's the guy who makes Tennessee that much more exciting. I think they have a generational coach and a generational player, and I don't think that happens. So for me, number 2 would be behind Tennessee basketball because of their roster turnover, would be the football team because of their offensive firepower.
I got football at number 2 also. Funny enough, I just have it, but for the same reason, Nico is just so exciting.
All right, what down, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Why do you have so much faith that Rick Barnes is going to put together a solid roster for the upcoming season when I think he has 8 of 15 guys now as far as roster spots with guys transferring and guys leaving? Now, we don't know what's going to happen with some of the guys, and there may be another transfer from Charlotte, I believe, come in. You might want to address those 2 guys. But to me, I don't have a ton of faith. I have some faith that Rick Barnes will put together a solid roster. But what if some of these guys don't pan out when they hit a college level?
I mean,
A higher
I think
college level, I should say. Excuse me.
So I think that Rick Barnes,
And I
I
want to be
think
clear to
he's good.
Mark real
I
quick.
think
Let me be clear to Mark real quick. I want to talk about the most exciting in its own playing field. In other words, you have a women's basketball team that's going to get up and down. You have a men's basketball team that has to be put together. You have a baseball team that's hitting home runs. So, I mean, on its own accord, I'm not trying to compare what is more popular. That's always going to be football. So, I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, football's the engine that drives the train. This is about what's the most exciting brand to watch relative to its sport. Rick Barnes, I think, I don't know for sure, but I do think Rick Barnes is going the route that actually is much more effective for him than what was done in the past with one and dones. And I think Rick Barnes has found another Dalton Connect. He's going to get another big, maybe two in the system before this is all said and done. And he's willing at 70 to constantly change with the flow. Now, again, I think men's basketball is going to be the most effective because Rick Barnes knows what he's doing. It's just not going to be the most exciting. Effective and exciting is different. Georgia football is not an exciting brand of football to watch, but it's winning championships.
All right. I want to get to fourth down. Mark says baseball is the sexiest sport. Maybe that's the question we should be asking. Fourth down brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. You know, the best thing about Dynasty Pools and Spas is that they've got it all taken care of. What does that mean? Well, you stop by their showroom and check out their fantastic selection of top-notch spas in that showroom in Athens. Make your pick and get ready, because Dynasty Pools and Spas delivers within 125 miles of that location in Athens, that fantastic showroom. They've got the cover lift, steps, chemicals, and everything you need. Delivery at no extra charge. They're just down the road in Athens. You pick the spa you want, and it'll be there for you. Oftentimes discounted with military and first responders discounts. Also blemish models, or just mention Off the Hook Sports. That's Off the Hook Sports for $500 off. There's a discount for you on spas made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas also has the best chemicals for you and your spa and your pool. No fillers, just the chemicals made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas, $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. Dynasty Pools and Spas, dynastypoolsandspas.com.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
What's the sexiest sport, Mark? I just stole your question. I hope you don't mind. I will be sure and credential you for that, Mark. Kudos. The most sexiest sport on campus is... It's tough for me to say baseball despite the home runs because they were so sexy a couple of years ago. I mean, they were all over the place. They were wearing hats and fedoras and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I would say that the sexiest sport right now is football. And that's different from most exciting. But Caleb, I would go football again for the same reason as most exciting. I don't want to cop out, but that's where I am. Baseball, by the way, has set their attendance record. And if you're in Knoxville, you know how hard it is to get a ticket. So you want to make an argument for baseball, Caleb. I'm not going to argue against you.
It's baseball because it's not just the sex. It's not just the sexiest sport in terms of it's one of the top two in terms of one of the football, women's basketball, and baseball are all sexy sports now because of their excitement. But then baseball's got like the heartthrob head coach that every single woman wants to date, and Tony Vitello, which just adds to it.
A guy came up to me the other, not a guy, a gal came up to me the other day and said, "Did you know you look just like Tony Vitello?"
Did they really, Dave? Did she really? Did she really?
That didn't happen. Yeah. Our good friends at Apex Apparel Group Design. Apex Apparel, they do so much more than just shirts. They do design, brand, market your way. Go to yourapexapparel.com, yourapexapparel.com, or go right below and call Tyler at 865-919-3001, 865-919-3001, and you will get 15% off your first order for your business. It is absolutely phenomenal. So how much sexier can this baseball program get? They could add more seats, I guess. They're sold out. You don't want to be overly inflated or fat at some point. So you keep pouring gas on this baseball fire, or do you kind of let it settle a little bit, finish the new press box, which will be done by next year, and kind of see where you are? Because don't forget this, you have a downtown baseball stadium that I'm sure is going to be somewhat competitive to the Diamond Balls at Lindsey Nelson, right?
Yes, you do. It could get pretty sexy because there are all these renovations. They're expanding. It's an exciting sport to watch. Whatever you guys want to think about John Curry, he hit a home run, no pun intended, with the Tony Vitello hire. I mean, that was a heck of a pickup. And you add in it with Vol Twitter, and it's just, I got to be honest. Yes, it is a sexy hire, and it is a sexy baseball team. And chicks dig the long ball. They always say that, although not fully true, because baseball is more entertaining when there's actual balls in play. You're seeing that in major leagues now. Home runs are up, but in-play balls are down, and that's actually caused ratings to drop because home runs or strikeouts alone make things boring. So, but I think Tennessee does put a lot of balls in play. So it'll get sexier if they go win a College World Series. How about that? That's how it can get sexier. I mean, that's where it could go. But it's between baseball and women's basketball and football, those three. Because again, I will say this with football, and you have a point with the sexy program. It's not just the offense. It's not just Josh Heupel's offense that's so cutting edge. It's that he's got the most exciting quarterback in college football to run it this upcoming year. And
sure,
Nico Iamaleava is just going to, guys, I'm telling y'all, and y'all think I'm crazy about this, but I think he's going to be, outside of the Deion Sanders Colorado drama, which will never stop being talked about, Nico Iamaleava is going to be the most talked about subject in college football for the next 2 years. Do you think I'm crazy about that?
No. I hope that's not the case. I hope he can kind of slip up on the radar a little bit, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
It's not possible. Not possible.
I don't think that's going to be the case. I would like for him to be unlike Peyton Manning and be an old story by the time that he is an upperclassman. But I think he's going to be an old story by the time he's an upperclassman because he's a redshirt freshman. So let's say somehow he gets to his junior year, where he gets past third year of eligibility. Who knows what NIL is going to do? I'm not ruling anything out right now, although I don't think it's going to be comparable money. If he gets past that, I hope college football as a country isn't tired of him. I hope that's not the case.